Hi, friends, it's Salt. If you're new here, this channel is all about salt. Salt is the alchemical element of transformation. Salt cleanses, it heals, and it transmutes energy just like you do. This channel finds the rare archetypes who move through life differently. So if you found this, I'm really honored to have you and really just be one of the few who gets to see and reflect you properly. Today in meditation, I got a message about a collective that is just tired on a deep soul level, and they just don't want to do any more improvement and self growth. That has been the trajectory of their whole life. I literally felt how exhausted they were about constantly improving, learning, trying harder, trying to be better in difficult situations. I even got that some of you are leaning into frustration and anger as well, due to comparisons of how others' lives seem way easier. They're not learning the lessons you are, they're not faced with the obstacles. It's just easier for them. So I'm sensing and picking up a frustration or a comparison energy. So this message today is for those who are constantly being faced with challenges, and instead of submitting to them, it seems that they are moving through them in a very elevated and evolving space, and it's exhausting them. So there's also a connection here in this reading between love challenges, not just life. So this message is really for those who've had turbulent love circumstances. I think I'll get love messages later in this reading, but this is for a collective that really takes on a lot of self improvement and finds that after romantic connections end, they are growing rapidly, like much more than within normal life challenges. So, my pull today focuses on the High Priestess and the Hierophant, and this is showing me something very rare, I think, and that you all are very rare. So, Spirit is guiding me to explain first, I think, how souls evolve. And this is so you have clarity about, I don't want to feed anybody's delusions here, but it really just feels important to tell you how special and rare your soul's path is and explain why, maybe as this reading evolves. So, first, let me explain what a common soul path is. Like the very typical path is very slow. A soul incarnates in many lifetimes, and it takes them a lot of lifetimes to learn one lesson. And as they learn those lessons, they reincarnate into, and as they break contracts and karma that they have been given, then they evolve into higher stages of frequency. And we all kind of like maybe know that on some level. If you don't, then I'm glad I explained that. But what's rare about who I'm speaking to today and what I'm being shown is that your soul decided and very intentionally took a quicker and more accelerated path into the highest consciousness as quickly as possible. So you're basically a part of a very rare and small group that took on accelerated incarnation. And what that means here is your contract was basically to awaken quickly and rapidly. And that is why you are experiencing so much hardship and what it feels like ongoing lessons and ongoing friction. It just feels like a lot here. And this is the reason why. There are also messages here. This one's very specific. North Node in Aries could be significant to some of you. It's showing up strong here. You don't necessarily need to have that placement, but what I'm picking up on is messages about the process of individuation and sovereignty and moving away from conformity as the soul's destined path, which will feel hard. Obviously, I think conformity is comfortable, and moving away from that is always going to have challenges. The energy here feels very much like you, whoever I'm speaking to today, doesn't understand why life is seemingly so challenging while others get to coast. That's the energy I'm picking up. It feels like you're a little bit angry when you look back at old situations, or you're frustrated or sad because people have harshly misunderstood and criticized you. And then you've had to like pick up those pieces and evolve from that despite not being understood. There's a small message here that you're being guided to kind of put aside and shelf self development right now. Like you're supposed to put it on a shelf and not be focused on it. I think the focus here, what you're being called to focus on, is to understand retroactively why everything has been difficult for you, rather than continue to evolve and continue to seek challenges or grow. I see you in a space right now where you're needing to pause and reflect on why all of this has happened and really understand it to be able to move forward into the next steps. It kind of feels like you've instinctively followed a self growth path without understanding why. That makes sense, especially because how you were put here to evolve so rapidly and so accelerated. It's because of your soul's purpose and intent. So, this kind of is being presented to me as you've been handed situations purposefully to test you. And without understanding why, it seems like what's happening here is that you're growing either resent for these situations for others, or you will be, is what I'm kind of seeing, that you'll grow that without the understanding or consciousness of why you've been tested constantly. So I guess it's important for you to hear why, as your next step here doesn't involve challenges like it has in the past. But I'm being guided to not really talk about the next steps and to not talk about the future. I'm supposed to be really focusing on the now and the retroactive processing and your past. So it's not focused today on prediction or telling you what's to come here. It's focused on clarity on why things have unfolded the way they have. So you don't internalize that as you being more challenging than others or you making things more difficult than they needed to be, but instead focus on and understand the specific gifts and why your soul chose an accelerated path. There's a reason to that. It doesn't seem like I'm being guided to focus on that, but maybe I'll get back to it. There's something that's coming up now. As I said, that last part is sorry to jump around here, but now we're focusing on a person attached to you. So I'm getting like a romantic connection here. And then I pulled the Empress a little bit ago and was just kind of like sitting with that card, but maybe that won't resonate with you all. This feels like a person that shaped a lot of your growth through a lot of your pain. This person didn't grow like you did, and it became unbearable to be with someone that essentially is not accelerating at the rate you have. I kind of see this pattern repeating too. Like you're just on this other whole level of growth and acceleration that partners are not, that the partners, especially that you're picking, are not evolving at that pace, if at all, is the contrast I'm being shown. I'm being presented the change through your life being really enormous. Like you've rapidly evolved at a pace that would exhaust anyone. So it's so valid to be tired right now, especially seeing all the lessons and the hardships that I'm seeing here. It kind of just feels like I want to hug you. Like that's the energy, because each time you've outgrown something, you've had to mourn that thing, whether it be jobs, a person, however. So this accelerated path has kind of like left you in this like constant cycle of deep connection and then mourning and then deep connection and then mourning. And then even this could even happen through jobs, circumstances, life, family. I'm just seeing like it's caused a lot of heaviness to have to keep mourning things and move on to the next that's more aligned with where you're headed. So it seems like the soul's divine lesson and contract here, like why you picked accelerated growth, is sovereignty and individuation seem to be really prominent here. I think through romantic relationships is how most of your lessons have been done and how they will continue to be done. The reason is it seems that the connections attached to you, especially romantic, have accessed these really deep parts of you that have been able to facilitate rapid and accelerated development and growth. And other things could not reach that deeper level. So that's why heartbreak here feels much more important to whoever I'm talking to. Like, I get the sense that others might give you surface level advice, like just move on or go out and have fun and forget about them. But like, they don't feel things as deeply as you do, and they are on the same accelerated journey. So their advice and most common advice is not going to work with your soul level journey, unfortunately. So it is causing a little disconnect on like, is there something wrong with me? Like, why can't I get over it and others can? So, the message here today seems to be understanding that your soul chose accelerated growth over a normal pace on purpose. This is not happenstance. This is not happening to you. This is very intentional. There is a reason here. So, you're going to do what many souls took many lifetimes to even do, and sometimes don't even get to do. And you're going to do it all at once. You're going to reach this higher state of magnetism and energetic frequency that others just will not be able to access, sometimes ever. And this is why I'm being presented that it feels so heavy. Like, you're evolving and mourning in a way that others just don't, because others are stuck in lifetimes of cycles that you're breaking in just one quick lifetime, even not even the full lifetime. It looks like here you're doing it, in half of that lifetime. And so the purpose here for why your soul chose, I know a lot of you might want that answer. It's not super clear, but it seems that you were meant to live more lifetimes in a higher frequency than others instead of remain stuck in those karmic cycles. Like, I'm noticing the contrast here is. So each reincarnation will start off at a higher level of consciousness for you because you're not stuck in those cycles. You're constantly evolving, you're constantly learning and moving to the next and clearing and sorting. So it looks like here you were not meant to stay in lower energies because your karmic contracts have been cleared, and they're being cleared so much more rapidly than others. So I think here it's being shown that your soul purposefully picked this accelerated pace, these romantic, deep lessons to more quickly access your divine gifts. Because if you were to stay in those cycles of karmic lessons where you don't learn and you don't evolve like you are now, you wouldn't get out of that survival level, lower energetic state, and you wouldn't be able to create the things that you're meant to. So I'm clearly being shown here that the lessons ongoing are going to be less chaotic since you've cleared a lot of those cycles already. The struggles or the lessons that are coming up are not going to be from the same energetic space. So they won't be as difficult. It won't be at that lower level of consciousness. So as you're reflecting on your past and your difficulties and how hard it's been, remember that there is a disconnect now between the lessons that you have experienced and the new ones that are coming. You've already graduated from that lower space. So as you continue, they're going to become less and less painful, less and less difficult, more peaceful lessons I'm being shown here are coming, where once you reflect on in this space of like, why was it so hard? And you get to that place of peace and understanding, these lessons are going to go from survival level, like where you've been stuck and you just keep hurting and keep being in pain. And now, and you can't escape those situations, to really just simple, peaceful lessons like, putting up a boundary, choosing yourself first. These are not going to hurt like they have in the past. They're going to take a much different shape now. But the message here today is when you're reflecting to be aware of that gap between what has happened and what is going to happen, because it's not going to keep repeating the same way. This last part is, I think some of you already intuitively know to do this, but Keep leaving comments. The comments themselves do not have to be anything specific or personal to you. Think of these as energetic nudges for me to align with your energy. It helps me channel for you more efficiently, and I want to be able to do that. I read each and every one always, and I am so thankful for all of you. So, cheers, friends.